What's up, collectors? Optical 20 for another Hot Toys video review. This time it's Hot Toys Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Naked Snake, and you can't buy this figure anymore on any retail store because it's sold out. But you can buy the boss or other Metal Gear figures at BigBadToyStore.com. Just click the link on the description, and we'll start off with the box. The front of the box, it's pretty much the same as the boss. This green camouflage that it does. You can see the subtle image of the boss, the big boss, I mean, on the background. It's pretty cool. And on the back, his I guess illustration with some little, like sleeves and everything, typical Kojima style. Pretty nice illustration of big boss right there, though. It's pretty intense. I like that. Pretty cool looking box, not your standard one, but like I said, this is an older figure, so Hot Toys actually puts effort into these boxes back in the day. I know initially it didn't sell well, and I don't know if it does still sell anywhere, but I know Big Boss is still available, the Big Bad, so that one I know for sure. She didn't sell well. This guy probably sold a little better, but not as much as I thought it would. I know there's a lot of fans of the series, but I don't know if the younger generations, because this one came out, the game came out, at least the first game on 98 or something like that, on the first PlayStation. And I can remember I felt that was the best game that I've ever played, and it remained in that top category, at least for me, for a while, until it got toppled over by other games. But I mean, I still enjoy it. That's the reason I'm reviewing this figure. See, there's a logo of Foxhound right there, and Naked Snake sneaking suit version on one side, and on the other side you can also see Naked Snake there. But going back to the game, you know what, Metal Gear 5, I'm playing it right now, and I'm not playing a lot of video games as I used to, but this one got me hooked, and like I said, it inspired me in reviewing this and the boss. I'll probably go back to playing Metal Gear 3 again on PlayStation 3, so who knows. Pretty cool game. Pretty classic, if you ask me. One of those games where the storyline and the gameplay itself meshes well, and it's very rare that you see that. Although Metal Gear 5 is pretty cool, I don't necessarily like the storytelling aspect of it. It feels like a GTA/Metal Gear game. So anyway, going back to the figure itself, it does come with a bunch of hands. Fisted hands. As you can see from those fisted hands, they're the ones who came with the with the figure right off the bat, and it's really hard to take out that peg. Even though you use the good old hair dryer technique, because it's too far off from, it's too deep that you insert the hand from the peg and the peg inside the actual glove. I'm not gonna take any chances, so I just opened up his spare pegs and just use them on other hands. It always happens, it's always gonna get stuck. So if you have more than one Hot Toys, this is the time to bust out those pegs, because you are gonna need them, unless you have those female Hot Toys who have smaller pegs, so don't use that. And there is gun, 1911, pretty cool looking gun. As you can see, the handle is also a bit different color, so that makes it stand out a bit more. I love it. And the hammer there's no articulation in the gun outside of you can take out its magazine, which is pretty standard from Hot Toys anyway. Yeah, but normally from Hot Toys, the slide goes back and forth, hammer, but this time it doesn't. It's pretty cool. He has more accessories, and for the most part, this gun would stay in his holster anyway. And he does come with this suppressor, which is Solid Snake is known for, or Big Boss. The game is all about stealth, so you gotta remember to use the silencer if you're playing the game. But in this particular figure, you gotta be careful, because this is a tiny little piece that it does have this tiny thing that you put in the hole. So you gotta be careful, because I've seen reports where it breaks. Sometimes you take them off funny, like in an awkward way or so, and you don't wanna do that. So it's hard to get a replacement for this guys anyway. So there you go. And once you put him on his holster, you can't put the suppressor, just to let you know. And this is his Tranq Gun, which I used a lot in the game. I cannot remember if it does look like this. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But it's not the best looking Tranq Gun that I've seen. Let's put it that way. It feels cheap and it looks cheap, and I'm not going to display him with that one, so it's probably going to remain in the box. And as far as this one right here, it's the Ration, which I used a lot in the game. On Metal Gear 5, there's no more Ration, so you don't have to. This might be a Russian, you know, label or wording right there. I'm not quite sure. I'm just basing it off from where he's at on Metal Gear 3. And he also comes with 2 or 3 grenades. This is either the flash grenade or the smoke grenade. It doesn't have a label on it, but I'm just gonna go on a limb and say you know, I'm gonna change my mind. It's a smoke grenade, and this one is I'm pretty sure it's a frag grenade. This brown thingy right here. See all these accessories. This, you know, even on the manual, it doesn't come with the instructions to tell you, hey, it goes here. It doesn't go anywhere. They're just there for accessories outside of those 2 knives that you see right there. But if you're just creative enough, I guess he has a lot of pouches, and also with his grenades, because it does have a handle, you can insert him on his outfit. So it's up to you. You can leave him on the box, throw him on the floor, or, you know, just be creative. And a mine, which is also a pretty cool looking mine. It does have some weathering on it, so it has some scratches and paint damages. Also got to be careful because the legs are not that great. They're not sturdy, and it can break off easily. They're made out of plastic, so I guess it's easy to find a replacement on eBay, but still, gotta be careful. This is the knife that he does have on his shoulders. It's attached to his outfit right here, and this is a bigger knife, a Rambo style knife. As you can see, I already broke it off, taking it out of the box. You also got to be careful. I'm going to show you how it works later on the review. That's the top part right there. It's a pretty nicely detailed knife, and he does come with a lot of accessories. As you can see, it's an older figure. That's why it does. And it comes with the binocular. It doesn't open up those cap, unfortunately. It doesn't have like a real glass on it. I was hoping it does. But these are some of the accessories that, you know, I always complain that a figure doesn't have enough accessories, but if they do, like the Alice one that I reviewed recently, the Alice one is pretty nice because you pretty much utilize all the accessories. It can fit on her. Unlike this guy right here, who does come with a ton of accessories. He comes with 2 guns and whatnot, but you either leave them on the box or throw them on the floor. But on the floor meaning, you know, on his feet when you display him. The only problem with that is if you do have more than one display on that, let's say display case, let's say it's, and like in my case, he comes with my G.I. Joe figures, so, you know, space is an issue, so I can't really utilize all this accessories, so they just go back in the box. So this is one of those things where you just wish, if they're not going to be attached to the figure, just lower the price. You know, it came out originally as $220, which is pretty high at that time. I guess those are one of the factors why he didn't really sell well. Hot Toys is greedy sometimes, and they know it's a big franchise, and they know there's a big following, it's a fan base. But pricing, I believe, $220 for a figure that came out years ago, and also it's a video game character. So I'll talk about that later more. But yeah, it didn't sell out really fast, so to speak. The boss is still available. She's not the best looking character out there. But yeah, pretty overpriced. This is one of those things where Hot Toys, well, Hot Toys is always greedy anyway. But yeah, and as far as this gun is concerned, it looks really nice. You know, it's highly detailed. There's a lot of, it's only 2 moving parts actually. That, you know, the iron sight right there and this box mag that he does have. It slides off. You can open something up on this end, and it slides off, and it does reveal the bullets. Nicely painted too, so you can see it's pretty neat. You know, from afar, it really do look more realistic than what you saw right there, because it's, you know, we're using a macro lens. So, and it does come with one thing that I wish it did come is a sling. Both guns, the M16 and this guy right here, the M60. I wish it did came with a sling. The reason being is that, if you know, to hold these guns, you need 2 hands, realistically, and also on the figure, because they're a bit heavy and they're longer. So if you're holding one gun, I wish at least you can put the, even though it's not realistic, because on the game he just carries a bunch of guns and you just press left or right, he can access whatever guns in his arsenal. But I wish you can put one on your shoulder and carry the other one, so you're not wasting an accessory, so to speak. And I like this. I like this feature right here, this accessory. It's the box. It looks silly, but if you have the space for it, which I don't, I'm gonna fold this right back up. It's like it's a real box. You know, he can actually fit in here if the figure has some articulation. It would be possible. But he doesn't, and then you can put his feet up, you know, kind of like he's walking, just like in the game. It's pretty funny. But yeah, I wish he could, you know, I wish at least he can bend his torso so he can fit in that box. That would be pretty cool. And as far as the figure itself, nice looking figure. Aesthetic wise, you know, great. As far as the costume, the material they used, like I'm mentioning aesthetic wise here, it's very pleasing to the eyes. The rubber that they used looks great. It doesn't look like it creases that much, unlike my Batman Begins, which if you fold his arms, you can see the creases on his elbows and whatnot. Looks really, really good aesthetic wise. There's a lot of stitching, details, CC, CP. You can see those threads running all over his elbows, and his armor. He has this armor on his chest that is just nice looking. Blends well. You know, it's supposedly his sneaking suit. A lot of collectors wanted his tiger stripe because he mostly used that throughout the game. I mean, you can change your outfit, but the tiger stripe looks just menacing. And I guess it's really easy to achieve if you want the tiger stripe one. I don't know if you can just easily buy the outfit, because there's a lot of military stuffs out there. So you just buy a body, throw his head in, get a tiger stripe, use his gloves right here. So I'm pretty sure you can make a workaround there. And then the sheath, as I was telling you how I broke the knife, I didn't broke it this way, but it almost broke when I was putting it in his boot. The reason being is that, you know, you gotta put him like this. Ideally, you can't put it here. So you gotta shove it down first, insert the actual knife, and then push it down, and then kind of, you know, work your way up there. The problem is the boot, or there's no flat surface between the sheath, and the sheath is not, it's not hard enough. It kind of, you know, like this leathery type material that when you insert the knife, it kind of contours to the shape of his boot. And the knife is plastic, so it can break easily. So it kind of bends in the middle a little bit, so you gotta be careful on that. So if it doesn't go in right away, don't force it. Just leave it as it is. Don't force it too much, because you risk the chance of breaking the knife itself, which is, it's $12 or $14 on eBay, and you don't even use it. You just leave it on the sheet. So, and he does come with a bunch of pouches in the back, so you can see it, and it's somewhat connected into his utility belt. And there you go, you can see there's a radio that comes in one of those pouches. Pretty cool. This back pouch right here, pretty sure you can open it up. It does come with you know, those strings and whatnot, and on the back it looks like it's being filled with some sort of I don't know, some foam or whatnot to make it look fuller. But if you take it out, I'm pretty sure you can insert the ration or binoculars perhaps, to make it more realistic. But you know what, I'll leave it as it is. He does have a canteen on his back, and it has like two little buttons. Haven't taken out, nor I wanted to. So I guess that's one of those things where you just, you know, it just looks cool as it is. Because it's Solid Snake, or not Solid Snake. Snake and Snake we're talking about here, Big Boss. It comes with a lot of gadgets, so it's like Batman, but with one eye. Going down. Pretty nice right here, and the boot. He doesn't have any ankle articulation, or any articulation for that matter. A little bit of articulation, but I guess he looks good when he's just standing straight up. I wish I could have done more, you know, like it's Naked Snake we're talking about here. It's the Big Boss, so you can bend his elbows like that, you know, like shooting, and it would slowly go down. You can bend his arms, and I'm forcing it right now. As you can see, I'm kind of struggling. The problem is the suit, as you've already known. I've talked about the aesthetics of the suit. It's rubber, so you put him up and it slows. It fights back, as you can see. It just goes down by itself. and you risk tearing it up if you force it too much. So if you buy this figure, don't expect too much articulation, especially not on the legs. The knees can kind of bend right like that. The legs, it's so stiff. There was a picture where he was kneeling. I guess, I don't know where I saw that picture. I was trying to recreate that. And needless to say, I don't have any luck. And as far as his torso is concerned, you see this black part right here, the one in the middle. That is made out of hard plastic, so don't even try giving him any abdominal crunch or anything like that. It's just not gonna happen. Think of it this way, like you bought a Mark III figure. Mark III has no articulation whatsoever on his torso. You gotta swap it out. But at least his knees and, you know, elbows and shoulders can move around. As far as him looking on the other side, that would be hard to do. You know, no waist movement whatsoever. I'm pretty sure you could if there was no, you know, like that armor piece in the middle, but it does. As far as head sculpt is concerned, it's pretty cool looking figure. I bought the, you know what? Honestly, I did buy the bootleg version because mine didn't came with the when I bought this one. It's missing the back piece, so if you do you can buy the bootleg version for like $35. Get the back piece because it's removable and then insert them. Even though it's bootleg, it matches the color, so it's pretty cool. But the bootleg version is almost close to this one. It's just some minor details, like if you're really attentive to details, you can see the difference. You know, like with it looks like it's not aging. And this is the back piece that I'm talking about. It's pretty similar color-wise to the OG version. So what I'm trying to say is this back piece, this back bandana, is bootleg because it didn't came with one. I contacted Hot Toys, and Hot Toys has one of the worst customer service ever. Do not even try to contact them. And you can watch other videos of other reviewers right there. They had problems with Spider-Man. I bought this brand new and it didn't came with this, and and since I bought this, and I know it's new because it's sealed in its brown shipper. I know a new one when I see one. Although I did buy it from, you know, not Big Bad Toy Store or anything like that. It's from Amazon. They would take him back, so I just got a partial refund. So I contacted Hot Toys. I told them I buy, no response, nothing from their email, nothing whatsoever. Worst customer service ever. So I wish, you know, another company would, and it's unfortunate because we only have Hot Toys to get these fine figures otherwise. But you know, with emerging companies like 3A, and I hope I wish they step their game up to the level of Hot Toys so they have some competition. Because like I said, Hot Toys is one of the worst customer service ever. Big Bad Toy Store has the best, you know, so if you have any problems with them, you go contact them. But that's why you gotta buy these figures from you know, a reputable dealer, because they always have an issue, especially if you're buying Iron Man. But as far as this guy's concerned, he looks great. You know, he looks great. He looks like his video game counterpart. He looks realistic. That's what I'm trying to say. And I'm gonna throw in some poses before I wrap this review up. And by a couple of poses, I mean mostly his arms are flailing around, because that's the only pose that you can get. The only articulation you would get is his head, and it's not even a big range because his hair is touching the back part of his costume. So by articulated, I mean his elbows, a little bit of his knees, and his bandana. But yeah, great looking figure. You know, if you are looking to collect Metal Gear figures, like high end at least, you can go this route. And I know there's some, I don't know if it's Gimmicks Sports or Figma. They look great as well, but Hot Toys, as we know, is in a whole new ball game when it comes to figures. So doesn't show any visible joints. If you're okay with a figure standing this straight up, which is he is right now, and I think he looks great in this heroic pose, which I would want to put him in. I'm a big fan of Metal Gear, so you know, I'm okay with all its shortcomings and whatnot. Even the boss, I did purchase that, and I'm not planning to sell them for, you know, anything at this point unless I get really broke. I would collect. There's only like 3 of them if you're collecting them from Hot Toys. This guy, the boss, and Raiden. And they don't come out every year, you know, like if you're buying Marvel, you know, you can always say, oh, you know what, I miss Captain America, I'll just wait for the Winter Soldier, or, you know, I'll just wait for the Civil War version. This one wasn't too successful, so I doubt they're gonna revisit this franchise. Maybe Metal Gear 5, I'm not even certain about that. But yeah, you only got 3, so if you just want to collect these 3 figures, him, the boss, and Raiden, then you can stop right there, and you're okay. And then if you want to continue using the Figma, they're cheaper too, so you're okay. So this is not for everyone. Mostly, if you're a fan, you would buy this. Even if you're a fan, you might skip on this. But I would say don't, you know, especially now the big boss price is like 140 or 130 at Big Bad. That's a bargain for a Hot Toys figure. Granted, she's not the best looking. This guy, you would get him on eBay probably for cheap, under 200 perhaps, if you look, you know, if you look deep enough. Sometimes you'll get it for 150. With the Hot Toys prices right now, Rocket Raccoon is 160. And he's a lot better than Rocket Raccoon, I can tell you that right now. Even with limited articulation, I would take him over Rocket any time of the day if you can find him for 150. You know, the game is great. If you enjoy the game, if you're a big fan, I would say pick him up. You know, you won't regret it. It comes with tons of accessories. Just don't expect any drastic articulation or drastic poses. If you're okay with this type of poses, then you'll be totally satisfied. I am. You know, I'm a big fan of the game. And I understand Hot Toys enough to know, you know, what to and what not to expect from a figure. It doesn't come with any gimmicks, you know, like light up features and whatnot. But like I said, for the price that it's going on right now, it's not that bad. See all the accessories, I laid it out on the floor. So if you can display him like this, great, because you're utilizing all that he does have. The problem with this is he's taking a lot of space. But if you're only collecting Metal Gear figures, like I said, you only have 3 options, so it's not that bad. In my case, I have, you know, this guy, the collector's edition version of Metal Gear 5. So I got the small arm. I even have the Raiden light up things. So you can cram them up all together and put them in a one VTOF, which I tried doing, and it does look good. Granting I don't have Raiden yet, but they do look good. So if you have a VTOF, you can put them on one shelf. Him, the boss, and Raiden in the middle, perhaps on the back, and they would look terrific. And that's my plan. And they won't take up a lot of space. You know, like I said, one shelf is enough for them. Him, Big Boss, and Raiden, and their uniform, they're on the same franchise. So, and as far as the overall figure, if you can buy him for 200 or less, ideally at around 170 mark, 170, I would highly suggest you pick him up. Only if you're a big fan of the game. If not, then don't even watch this. Why are you even watching this if you're not? But if you are, I would say it's a must-have, because I highly doubt they're gonna revisit this franchise again, granting that they didn't sell much. So thank you for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like the video, share this. It really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next review.